DNA may have named the Somerton Man. It did not solve his death. In 1948, he was found against an Adelaide seawall with no identification, no known cause of death, and 2 words hidden in his pocket: Tamám Shud, the end. As of July 2026, the official case was still open. His name may be solved, his death is not. To understand why a name solves so little, go back to the morning of December 1st, 1948. On Somerton Beach outside Adelaide, the man lay against the seawall. He was neatly dressed but carried no identification. His pockets held ordinary objects: cigarettes, matches, chewing gum, combs, a used bus ticket, and an unused train ticket. Police published photographs of his face and later preserved it in a plaster cast. The images traveled widely. Nobody gave investigators an identity they could prove. The tickets reconstructed part of his final day. On November 30, the man bought a train ticket at Adelaide railway station, but did not take the train. He bought a bus ticket instead and rode toward the beach. Witnesses later reported seeing a man in his position near the seawall that evening, but the employees who sold the tickets had no specific memory of him. The record placed him at Somerton. It did not explain why he went there, whom he expected to meet, or whether he intended to leave. His body did not provide a clean answer either. The medical witnesses at the 1949 inquest could not establish a cause of death, although several believed poison was likely. Government analyst R.J. Cowan tested the stomach contents, liver, urine, and blood for common poisons, including cyanides, alkaloids, barbiturates, and carbolic acid. He detected none. That did not prove there was no poison. Cowan said that if poison caused the death, it would have been rare in use and beyond what his examination could identify. The evidence could not securely choose between suicide, murder, or another unexplained death. Then police linked the dead man to a suitcase left at Adelaide railway station. It contained clothing, slippers, shaving items, and tools. Some identifying labels had been removed. The name Keane appeared on several pieces, but investigators could not turn it into a verified identity. The suitcase made the case look deliberate, as though someone had tried to erase the man. But that is an interpretation, not a finding. What the suitcase actually did was create a trap that would last for decades. Every strange object invited a theory, while none of the objects explained how he died. Months after the death, investigators found the case's most famous clue. A tightly rolled scrap of paper had been found in a small fob pocket in the man's trousers. It carried 2 words: Tamám Shud. Police traced them to the closing words in a particular edition of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Using a Persian English dictionary, an investigator translated them as to end or to finish. One expert thought the message supported suicide. Police did not rule out that it could have been planted by someone else. The words were evidence, their meaning was not. The 1949 inquest had already been adjourned before another major piece of evidence arrived. On July 22, 1949, a man gave police a copy of the Rubaiyat that he said had been found in the back of his car months earlier. Its final words were missing. Inside the back cover was a sequence of handwritten letters that looked like a code, along with a telephone number. The number led to Jessica Thompson, also referred to as Jessie or Jestin in later accounts, who lived near Somerton Beach. Police interviewed her. The book, the letters, and the phone number reached investigators only after the inquest had been adjourned, so the original coroner's file never weighed them. That timing matters. The mystery did not arrive as one perfect puzzle, it accumulated. An unidentified man, removed clothing labels, a suspected poison that testing could not find, a coded-looking message, a nearby woman who could not resolve the connection. Those details were enough to build a spy story, and retellings kept building it. But the surviving evidence does not prove espionage. The letters may be a cipher, shorthand, initials, or meaningless marks. Tamám Shud may have been a final message, a private reference, or a coincidence. The responsible conclusion is not that the case lacks mystery. It is that the mystery is stronger when unsupported certainty is removed. In 2022, University of Adelaide professor Derek Abbott and genealogist Colleen Fitzpatrick announced a different route to the man's identity. Hairs preserved in the plaster bust yielded DNA evidence. The researchers compared genetic matches, built family trees, and said the evidence pointed to Carl, also called Charles, Webb, a Melbourne instrument maker and electrical engineer born in 1905. Family photographs showed a man with a similar face. Abbott later said he was 99.99% sure. The Keen name in the suitcase also gained a possible family explanation. But this remained a researcher's identification claim, not yet a published coronial finding. Carl Webb makes the case more human and less theatrical. His wife filed to divorce him for desertion in 1951. That helps explain how a man could disappear from one part of his life without an immediate national search finding him. It does not show why he traveled to Adelaide, what happened on his final day, or whether he died by accident, suicide, or another person's action. DNA can connect a body to a family. It cannot recover a conversation on the beach, identify an undetectable substance, or tell us what the paper scrap meant to the man carrying it. In July 2026, South Australia Police had still not delivered its report to the coroner. Professor Derek Abbott said police told him the report was nearly complete. The coroner would then decide whether to hold another inquest and publish findings. Abbott believes the identity is nearly certain, but he also says that a cause of death may now be impossible to recover from the remains. So what has the case actually resolved? The strongest evidence probably resolves the question of who was found on Somerton Beach. Not how he died, not why he was there, not whether the famous clues were connected to his death or merely connected to his life. The end became the case's most memorable phrase. It was never an ending. The Somerton Man may finally be Carl Webb. His last day remains the mystery. Shadow Files Vault. Subscribe if you're not afraid to listen.